All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Theorycrafting Thursday. We, of course,
Theorycrafting? Are we in
Theorycraft Thursday? Excuse
God,
me.
how quickly you lapse into old vices.
That's an eloquent way to put it. My co-host Proud and I, Ursinity, am very appreciative. So, we, of course, are Theorycraft Thursday, and we are everyone's favorite video game podcast. And today, we're going to be talking about my game of the year in 2016. It was a game that did not do great critically. It was not held under critical acclaim. It did not do great on Metacritic either.
The critics liked it okay. It was more of the number of units that was sold that was kind of the main. It was like it didn't do well in a market sense, right?
So the game specifically that we're talking about that I'm sure everybody knows and loves is called Grandma Wants It Al Dente, Grandma Needs It Al Dente. And so we're going to be talking...
Is it Dante? I thought it was Dente.
El Dente. El Dente.
El Dente.
El Dente.
I'm pretty sure it's Dente. Like Dante is
Dente.
It's like Dante's Inferno.
El Dente.
Like Grandma wants the Dante. Well, it's like some Clerks game.
Oh my God, this is going to be so
hit
funny.
Series Clerks.
We just got off the rails entirely. I was going to have a whole bit about this, and then I misspoke and didn't say El Dente. El Dante.
I was like, are you? Because your family is. I mean, I guess they're French.
We're not Italian. I just live near Italians.
That's right. You live near a bunch of Italians. Like, do I actually not know the way to pronounce things? But no, actually, you're just.
It's just me.
Wrong.
It's. I was distracted by trying to hammer that in.
Shut up. So we're trying to talk about this game, right?
Okay. Well, I'm making so I mostly just wanted to do that bit so that maybe one or two, hopefully at least 5 of our listeners get that reference to this wonderful podcast that I've been listening to recently called Cool Games Inc. And the first episode, the premiere episode, is them basically theorycraft. Well, no, they were present tense. Theorycrafting a game based on a prompt that was just Grandma Likes It El Dente. And so they had to create an entire game based on that concept. And it was very entertaining. Highly recommend it. That's their free plug.
Grandma wants it al dente, Grandma needs it al dente. It's kind of a creative masterpiece. So I recommend, look it up.
Yeah. It actually got banned from Steam, unfortunately, so you can't find it. But look at the podcast, Cool Games Inc. Episode 1. It's on SoundCloud. Okay. The game is on SoundCloud, actually.
The game is actually not on Steam. It's on Photobucket because it only actually has one graphic, but it is very good.
Yeah. So listen to that podcast. And this bit went off the rails incredibly. So instead, let's just talk about Dota. This may be some people's first episode of Theorycrafting Thursday.
Can we just talk about only Ursa right now?
Why would we talk about Ursa?
Can we devote a minute to Ursa?
Okay, is that your entire week in Dota, Proud?
I've played maybe one game of Ursa. I just want to devote a minute to Ursa. I feel like we haven't given Ursa a lot of attention, and I feel like we should devote a minute to Ursa.
Okay, fair. This is the Ursa minute.
And the amount of time that I spent advocating to Ursa did count within that time, so I got about 30 seconds left. So I feel like Ursa's actually really, really good right now, but then sometimes you can lose the game on it.
Yeah, like if the game goes late?
Yeah, that specifically. I mean, you can't really push towers on this hero. Like the entire reason the hero is good is because of fury swipes, and that doesn't work on towers. So like you need to combo with like fucking Shadow Fiend, or somehow have a
Death Prophet.
What is that hero? A Jakiro? No, not actually. Death Prophet's fine. Jakiro, a Shadow Shaman, something like that. Or Death Prophet's fine. That hero kills towers. I don't know. And like Abaddon is actually like perfect with Ursa right now.
Yeah, that's
Abaddon
wild.
turns any team into a tower killing team just because of Curse of Avernus. Like you give fucking like 10 heroes plus 40 attack speed. Yeah. Super good when you have 10 heroes on your team.
And they can never CC the Ursa.
Right, yeah, and then the Ursa just keeps breaking out. It's like the song Breaking Out by the Proto-Men, only it's an Ursa.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Totally. Anyway, that was the Ursa minute. I'm glad everyone stuck around for that.
Yeah, me too. So my week in Dota has been me trying to make Wind Ranger work, failing because Wind Ranger sucks.
Yeah, she does.
Then she's just playing. So last week, I forget if it was on the Tuesday Q&A or if it was on this show, but I was committed to just playing a bunch of Dota because I've been slacking recently.
Yep.
And in my Dota games, I've been playing, actually conveniently, I've been playing all the different roles. I've had a nice slew of games, even though they've all been basically solo queue. unranked, it has been an alarming amount of games where nobody wants carry or nobody wants safe lane.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It is weird. It's a nice little pleasant surprise every once in a while. But I played, let's see, a couple CM games, which CM is crazy good right now. If you make
right?
A lot of people,
good.
I've been watching some of the what's called the major predictions, and a lot of people have CM as their top picked hero because she's almost never banned, but she's very good to be picked.
Yeah. There are so many hyper specialized heroes that you just don't want to deal with that are not Crystal Maiden. Like, I don't want to have to ban Crystal Maiden and then you like have Earth Spirit and Magnus on your team. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm just not going to ban Crystal Maiden next time. I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. Let's see. So I played a couple of CM games. I played a couple of Wind Ranger games I talked about. I played a Lifestealer game. God, that hero is wild.
Yeah, hero's good.
Played an Enigma game. I didn't offlane him though. I played jungle because we already had an offlaner of some sort.
That's old hat.
It is old hat. Yeah.
Old hat.
Other than that, though, I've just been playing some other stuff. Played a couple OD games, and that's been me building BKB, which like I saw it's a weird casting night. I was talking about how everybody in their Dota career has a moment where they start accepting the fact that they need to build BKBs, right?
Yeah.
So you start at this point, you're like, BKB, what a boring item, what a stupid item. But then you get to the point where you realize, like, hey, this is the right item, but then you still don't buy it. And then you kind of ease into being like, okay, well, I'm seriously playing Dota. I'm seriously trying to win. I have to build BKBs. So
I've been having like the opposite situation with OD. Like, I don't build BKB. I don't even go Shivas anymore. I'm just like fucking blink, goddamn sheepstick, fuck it. And it's been working out great.
I haven't been able to build blinks because I've had to go in for BKBs.
Oh man, I do nothing but I can't play OD without blink anymore. I was trying not going blink for a while, but like every so often I'm like, wait a sec, I can blink on someone and then push them back and then just get a bunch of free right clicks off. That's too much. Or like that self astral into blink out. Like, what do I need a BKB for? Fucking puck.
I was mostly playing the blink dagger builds before, but recently, after especially doing some research and seeing some other high tier OG players that don't go blink, obviously most of them do. It's just in some games where, like, so for context, in one of these games, I would obviously go Midas. I went Midas, finish treads, and then you have your two nulls, of course, at the beginning. Yeah. Then I would always finish my Hurricane Pike, and then the BKB I would have to build right after because in these games, first game I was against Storm Spirit, CM, Leshrac, Faceless Void, which isn't really consequential, and a Juggernaut.
Yeah, I can see it if you're getting just like fucking Storm Zip into Orchid or whatever.
Basically every fight went exactly like that. And then the next game was another Storm Spirit game because OD versus Storm Spirit. I was picking it for that matchup specifically.
Yeah. Do you just go like the Orb build, like
or some
1-1-2 at 4 or something like that?
Yeah, 1-1-2 at 4 is generally what I'll do, or I'll have a like 2-1-2 at 5.
Yeah, that follows logically.
Yeah, or I just want to bully them a lot and have high levels in Astral. But in general, I do pick it for the Arcane Orb builds. But then the second game,
So I was like really sucking on my OD a lot, so I just like did what any sane human would do and watch someone who was better than me at OD, and like, man, I think I understood this before, but like when OD first was good, we had a really long range on Astral, you would just like play the whole thing around denying their range creep or whatever. Yeah. But like that's so much harder to do now with the tiny ass range, especially when you're against like a sniper or whatever. But so like now I just like walk at them and be like, I'm gonna Astral you, and then they're like, no, get away. No, I'm going to leave. And then you walk back and then you last it or whatever. And then you just like, oh, I'm coming. I'm going to get you. And then they walk away. And that has helped drastically. All I do, I just try to astral them all on cooldown. And it has helped me so much. Like I actually win my lanes now instead of like, oh, this sucks. I'm trying to astral their creeps, but it's not working. Like that. Yeah. That's hard. That's too hard. Just astral them now. It's great.
Yeah. The first game of these two games was one of those games where I legitimately felt like it might have been my best OD laning phase I've ever played. Like I only killed the guy once, I think, but I was just not missing any CS. I was denying him absurdly. I can't check because I don't have Dota Buff Plus anymore until I can. Actually, I could get it with my PayPal right now, but anyway, I don't have that right now, so I can't tell you what I had at 10 minutes. But it was just one of the times where everything was going according to plan.
Yeah.
And then the second game went well, but not quite as well because I got ganked once or twice. But because they ran this not aggro duo support, but they ran two supports that just roamed together. It was Naga Siren Jakiro. And I initially counterpicked the Naga because I was like, all right, I'm just going to be OD and he's never going to be able to send illusions at anybody. And then they supported the Naga and they roamed Jakiro Naga, and it was also Storm Spirit mid. So, but they ran freaking Storm Spirit Lifestealer and an Invoker offlane. So I just needed a BKB for that game too. And it was just miserable. I hate going BKB early, but this is to tie it back to my original point. It was a good learning experience because I've been lazy with BKBs recently because it's just like, there's only so many fun items that you could buy. But turns out doing things and being alive. Yeah, doing things and being alive is pretty fun too. So sometimes you got to build a BKB.
Yeah,
I'm renewing that point in my Dota growth as a player, or regrowth, I suppose, since I've been sticking around for too long.
Like if you play a lot of support, like the last thing you want to do is play carry and then build a BKB, right? Like you want to just bathe in all your super cool, awesome, kill everyone items that you can get. Not like, I'm gonna play Luna and I'm gonna get Dragonlance and then I'm gonna get BKB. Like,
it's funny that you say that. Because that is actually probably what it is. Because I was like spent whatever it was, like a year and a half only playing support basically. And now I'm playing a mixed bag, but I'm mostly playing support still. So when I do play carry or mid or whatever, I don't want to build freaking BKBs, dude. I want to build good punching items.
Yeah, you need 2 Data Lie.
Yeah. I've also been playing a ton of Bane.
Okay.
And because I love Bane, and the Bane slander on this week's Proudland really hurt my soul.
So it wasn't so much Bane's slander as the fact that he's not a good disabler. Like,
yeah, that's Bane's slander. You were saying that his ult is like the worst ability in the game. I was just thinking back.
I'm saying
all the times that I solo kill cores.
His one ultimate every 100 seconds does not solidify his place as one of the top 4 heroes with like in terms of disabling. Is that fair? Like, he's definitely not. If I say, man, our team needs a disabler, he is not the first hero on my list.
No, I mean, you're right about that, but
Thank you. That's all I needed.
But he is a good disabler.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a BKB piercing, long range disable in Fiend's Grip, and a quite long disable potentially from Nightmare. And the obligatory Enfeeble is the most underrated skill in Dota. Like we talked about Bane too much recently, but boy, I like Bane so much.
Hero is not picked. I'm sure he's great. I'm sure you have a great time with him.
Yeah, and then God, all right. And then okay, I was about to bring up the classic argument about do nothing heroes because I agree with you on the on the term, but you called Bane a do nothing hero, and I was like, dude, Bane.
No, he said, okay. Roland said, "Is Bane a do nothing?" I was like, kinda, like
You started with a no, and then you ended in a yes. I was like, oh god. Started from the top, now we here.
And now we do nothing hero. Yeah, it's a tough life.
Okay.
A little bit. Outside of his ultimate. Like if he doesn't get like until he's 6, then like kinda.
So that's my week in Dota basically. What has your week in Dota been like, Proud, other than Ursa?
I think I said this earlier, but I don't know when I said this. Who did I even say it to?
Yeah, all the things just meld together in my mind, honestly.
I'm not even sure. Anyway, Dota at between like the high 4K low 5K, that's actually, it's just a balancing act on, do I want to pick mid or safe lane to ensure that at least one of my mid or safe laners does not die once and then decide to feed, or do I want to play support or off lane so that one of the people who wants to play mid or safe lane doesn't have to support and then intentionally feed while playing a jungle bloodseeker. And I've been on kind of the bad end of that balancing act. I feel like if I choose to play core, then someone's upset that they can't play core, but if I don't, then someone intentionally feeds. And it's been a bit of a tough life. But I've resolved to just play a lot of offlane now. I have a great Centaur win rate. I think it's like 79% across like a number of games this patch. I'm playing both Centaur and Abaddon. And I've just been playing like a ton of Centaur and Abaddon. I've run into a lot of teams that have this thing called, like, some heroes that are supposed to do certain things in their roles, like maybe a support that's supposed to have lockdown, and then they don't, and then not a lot of things happen as a result of that hero pick, trying to come up with a name for something like that. But
I just don't know.
A lot of these heroes that just don't really do what they need to do in any regard.
People are gonna be so mad at us for this, dude.
So I've been picking Centaur Warrunner because I mean you can run a hero like Centaur. He's got your damage. He's got escape to help your fools. Like I don't even use Stampede to kill people. All I do, like maybe once my mid is like level 6, I'll like spam ping and be like, go, I got you, buddy, go, and then I won't even be there. I'll just like use Stampede for them, and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get him now. Like it's great. But mostly I'm just like, oh, Lifestealer is dying for no reason because he used Rage to farm a camp, and now he's getting poked. I'll just Stampede, and I'll be like, run, and then they'll run, and I mean that's great. So I just pick Centaur. I slowly get my Blink Dagger. Everyone's like losing and very upset, and then I just like walk up with Stampede and a Blink Dagger, stun 3 people, and then we get like a triple kill. The whole game's in our favor. Like that's my week of Dota. I just play Centaur, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Centaur's a good hero, it turns out.
He's awesome. He is, I think, the best pub offlaner, in my opinion. I really did like Abba as it for a while now, but too many times of, like, I'm Abba offlane, and then we have Undying Lich. And I'm like, okay, like, what's the plan with this team, everyone? Like, what are we going to do? Nothing.
Yep. So, Proud, this is a Theorycrafting Thursday first. We did not pre-plan a segment because...
Oh, shit!
We may or may not have forgotten to do that.
We forgot to do that. Well, that was the Ursa Minute. That was our segment. The Ursa
quickest segment in all of history.
Yeah.
So,
think about picking Jakiro with him, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So, let's
talk about do-nothing heroes. That seems to be a theme of this week. No, I'm kidding.
We are going to make so many people mad if we do that. Specifically, you're going to make people mad, but then they're going to take out their anger on me.
Yeah, they're going to ask the question on your Q&A show, and then I will never have to answer for my sins in any capacity.
Yeah, I actually just need to notate your like noun blank 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 your definition.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
I
was pretty proud of that one.
It was clever.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but seriously, okay. So for segment, let's just do another quick because we have a lot of stuff to talk about hero wise. Let's just do a quick metagame analysis in the 7.05 is much more developed now, right? We talked about it right after it came out, but now in pubs, I think the real standout heroes that I've been seeing, and even in pros, because I've actually been watching more pro games now that because Breaky CPK is on our network. He has the new Friday show with Red Eye and Capitalist this week, and so I was listening to a bunch of his casts, and
it's kind of weird that he didn't choose to bring us on because I feel like we're kind of the hot new Dota panelists.
Who even is Red Eye, right?
Who am I to judge?
But unfortunately, our suits are not as nice as Cap's, so we got vetoed from that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even going to try to step to Cap's suit game. Like that's
but in all seriousness,
respect.
So I was watching a bunch of his casts so that I like get to know the person that is I'm now more or less working with or working in the vicinity of. And so I finally started watching pro games again compared to just like skimming them in like noob from UA videos or just looking at drafts. And I was noticing CM like we talked about earlier.
Right.
And then again this trio of offlaners, the Centaur, Mag, Abaddon play.
Right.
As I speak ramble, I'm now also somewhat remembering that the games that I watched were not that exciting. Complexity played Winter Wyvern both games, and it did not go great because
never mind.
I was paying extra attention because I really like Winter Wyvern, and she is one of the biggest heroes I climbed to 5K with, actually. Actually, I shouldn't say 5K. I climbed with her probably to like 4,700 or something. That was kind of that era. And I was just first picking Winter Wyvern. We've been doing that back in Hakuna Marana days. And as much as I like Winter Wyvern, it was such a lackluster, like borderline do nothing hero in those games. And that was my big takeaway was, you know how on the podcast we were waiting, me specifically, I was waiting for Lena to get meta again. And now I'm enjoying it. Yep. But I'm doing that now with Winter Wyvern, or Winter Waifu as she is colloquially called by all us Winter Wyvern players.
Right.
Or Winter Wyvern. I don't know
It's Wyvern. Wyvern is just something that I say to bother people.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my big takeaway pro wise. You watch more pro stuff though, and you play more pubs. So what's your meta analysis?
So one thing I'll say right now is that Sven is actually getting a good amount of attention. And this is, if you follow me on Twitter, this is known. I think I didn't actually go into this on the show that we Proudland. I was gonna call it the Friday show, but it's not the Friday show, and it's not the Monday show this week. So Proudland. But So people are they're going. It's an SNYA Sven build, but instead of the immense ingenuity of phase boot Sven, they're not really going with that. They're still going treads. They're doing like a Mask of Madness instead of a phase boot. So you use the Mask of Madness for your move speed increase instead of phase. And I actually think I like it more than my build for the most part. There are some games where I definitely want a Helm of the Dominator for my team, like if we have a Shadow Fiend or an OD, and we have no support that's going to build anything remotely resembling a sustain item. Like if we don't have a Dazzle, or we don't even have like a mech carrier off lane, we don't have an Abaddon. Like if we have no one that is going to regenerate anyone's health in any capacity, it's normally nice to just have the Dominator for the aura. But yeah, overall, I think I do like this mask build better. And I was never really against the notion of it. It's just that I've had too many very like negative reactions with Mask of Madness silencing me when I want to like blink stun someone. And I did have I've been playing it a lot actually, and I did have one experience where I was killing someone and my team was spamming me like, "Why aren't you stunning?" And I was like, "I was using Massive Farm Ancients. I'm sorry, it'll be off soon." But I mean, of course they didn't. You know, they're not listening.
Yeah, they just need an outlet for their anger.
Yeah, they're just like, "Where's the stun?" And I'm like pinging Mask of Madness on cooldown. I used it. But I mean that only happened like once or twice, and it's like really good. And you do kind of need the treads honestly, because between spamming Warcry at 25 mana and Mask of Madness at 25 mana, I actually am tread switching a ton. I'm like anti-mage level, like just tread switching every time I use goddamn like any Mask of Madness or Warcry or whatever.
Nice.
But it's really good. I like both builds. I definitely don't think that any of my time spent theorycrafting that build has been like worthless or whatever. It's definitely still a super useful build. And phase boot in the laning phase is obviously strong as shit. But yeah, I've been liking this Mask of Madness build a lot. Sometimes you go Mask of Madness into BKB, into SNY, into Blink. Sometimes you go Mask of Madness into BKB, into Blink, into SNY. You can really do those three items any like situation you want, but you do kind of want to go those three items. Every so often I'm doing absurdly well and I'll just get a heart out of nowhere, and then it's like 28 minutes and I have a 4,000 health Sven, or 3,500 or some shit like that, and then it's just beautiful because they try to kill me and then I run away with Mask of Madness, Warcry, and SNY, and then regen up to full health in 3 seconds, and I'm like, man, Sven is awesome. But yeah, I mean, you also pick him against Juggernaut and shit, like just standard Sven stuff. Not against Axe, because Axe is a fucking scourge. Holy shit. I'm banning Axe every pub, by the way. I'm done with banning Meepo, because I play Sven. Why do I need to ban Meepo? I need to ban Axe. Holy fuck, I hate Axe.
Yeah. Axe is pretty annoying.
He's
go for it.
He's such a fucking terror, dude. Holy shit. I mean, this is mostly because I play carry, but not even. I can't. There's no situation where I'm against an Axe and I'm like, that's not a problem. Like, it's all in like a jungle Axe. Oh my god, Jungle Axe is the best thing in Dota 2, dude. That shit is good. Terrifying. I hate that hero, man. He's too much. It's too much. He counters Juggernaut. Like, what the? Who does he not counter? Kind of Ursa, I guess.
Yeah, Ursa. I mean, he's not great against Lifestealer.
No, he's fine against Lifestealer, dude.
He's fine,
piercing, Blade Mail, Lifestealer's killing himself.
I guess, like, yeah, it is BKB piercing disable. And BKB piercing disable, what a concept. What a concept.
Like, what? Is this the Blade Mail with the new Blade Mail, or the relatively new Blade Mail with Call is just...
It's wild.
It's like there's no point where this Axe isn't a huge issue. Like, I'm playing OD, and I'm like turning my fucking orb off so I don't kill myself in 2 seconds. Yeah. Like, oh my god. But I will say, my OD games against Axe, it's just a whole vision game. I'm like, yo, pick Beastmaster, give me a ward, I'll ward up well, and then you just like keep precasting your Astral Imprisonment on Axe, and then when he blinks in, he's instantly Astral. Like, I have gotten so good at that just out of pure necessity. Like, that shit is absurd. Like, you cast Astral Imprisonment on Axe, and then, like, while he's super, super far away from you, and then when he blinks in, your OD is still trying to cast it, so as soon as he's within range, you fucking pop him, and then you're like, hey, there's an Axe! He's right here! He's right here! Can we get him? And then everyone gets him, he doesn't blink out, and it's all hunky-dory. But man, that hero, man. Holy shit. Hate Axe.
Yeah. I feel you there. Anything else?
I mentioned this on Proudland, but talking about like the set of 3 offlaners. Obviously, if once anything is super set in stone like that, and the whole like this is where the whole concept of a meta comes in. Like maybe heroes individually aren't good at doing something aren't good at doing something specifically, but based upon the meta that develops or the heroes that come around it, one certain aspect, like Centaur and Magnus and Abba are all really good heroes, but not in like a meta sense. Yes, they fit in the meta, but the fact of the matter is they are very good heroes, and the meta is kind of formed around them. Similar, a Monkey King and Earth Spirit are absurdly strong heroes, and the meta formed around how good they are. Like, they almost formed the meta. Like, them plus the map changes are what kind of formed the meta. And then the heroes that come as a response, like the counters to those heroes that are just really strong, are the ones that are kind of like, they're only good because of the meta. And that's where I would put Enigma as an offlaner, like OG S4's Enigma is super, super good. And even Puck to an extent. These are both offlaners that were purely born out of like stage 3 on reactions. So stage 1 is, we're going to pick Magnus and Abaddon and Centaur. And then stage 2 is, so those are like 3 offlaners, and they all have very similar properties. Big tanky boys who can only really CS by getting in your face, and they're not extremely strong early on. So what is the counter to big tanky boys that want to get in your face? Lifestealer and Ursa, and then sometimes Clinks, Juggernaut to an extent, just because he's like really good at fighting at level 1. A couple heroes like that. So you have those offlaners, and you say, all right, well, so because I know those are the offlaners you're looking at, I can pick a hero like Ursa or Lifestealer or Clinks or, whatever early on, and I will be able to, I'll just pick those first, and then anything you go with, you're probably going to get countered, unless it's like Magnus against Lifestealer is probably the only one that's like, they Lifestealer, then we can Magnus, and it's not so bad. But then the response to that is, you pick Lifestealer first. I'm not actually going to go one of these. I'm just going to go an offlaner specifically that Lifestealer is going to hate having to 1v1 against.
Yeah.
And that's where Enigma and Puck come in. So Enigma's really good, obviously, because Enigma has, like, the way that Enigma offlanes isn't by bullying supports and, like, shoving his face at them. He just, like, denies creeps and pulls the mech, and, then Lifestealer whines and says, supports, please help me. I never have a ranged creep. Please go deal with that Enigma. Please kill him so I ever get a ranged creep.
And then they can't.
Yeah, and then it creates all this pressure, and then the pressure is now on your offlane instead of their mid, and now they need like 2 heroes to deal with your offlane, and it's like, it's great. It's like, it doesn't do that much compared to what a Centaur offers your team, but it specifically counters like the plan of, our Lifestealer will just 1v1 their Centaur, and then our 2 supports will kill every other lane. So, meta update, Enigma.
Meta update, yes. The Puck was interesting too. I mean, Puck, you have to be a Puck player to play it, but Puck as a concept is hard to trade with, honestly, for supports. Like, unless you're one of these really heavy-hitting supports, like a Bane, you are just going to get wrecked by some Puck that has 2 null talismans and, like, boots and just chases you down.
Yeah, and
it's
phase
brutal.
shifts one of your projectiles, so, like, he hits you twice, or they hit you twice, and then you throw one, and then you're like, I don't want to keep this up. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just hop right into our combo this week, because we got a bunch to talk about. So as you know from the title of the show, we are going to be playing Terrorblade, and we're going to be playing Jakiro. And Terrorblade is really the star, I think both of us would say, of recent Dota 2, or I should say, like, maybe he's like the sleeper star. Every time I see him, it's terrifying. Yeah. And I really want him to stay asleep, which is why we're disseminating this information to thousands of people. But I hate Terrorblade. I hate everything about him. I hate playing against him. I don't mind playing with him, but I really hate playing against Terrorblade. Even when he was weak, still just such an annoying hero to deal with. Yeah. Even more so, I would say, than like Naga Siren. I'd rather play against a Naga Siren than I would against a Terrorblade.
Really, at least Terrorblade is over quick.
That is true, but I don't mind long games that much. The thing about it is, like, Naga Siren, you can expect her what's it called, illusions to be popping out all at once, and then you Mantis all at twice, and they're manageable with either AoE, or you can plan ahead of them and kill them with specific things. But Terrorblade, it's just a constant stream of illusions, and they're like way tanky and annoying. But yes, I hate playing against Terrorblade.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I'm not going to be a Terrorblade apologist for you. The hero is absurdly strong and really annoying to lose to.
And
Especially when he
Metamorphosis,
sunders. Like, sunder is a stupid ass skill. Can we just say like that's not acceptable? Like every pro game, like, oh, the Amascata, oh, the sunder, oh, like fuck you. That didn't. You just didn't kill him in 2 seconds, and he got all his health back for no reason. Like, fuck you. Get out of here. It's dumb.
Yeah, it's like a Faceless Void backtracking, except you lose all the health he gains.
Yeah, except that you get the backtrack. It just reflects the backtrack.
What if that was a Faceless Void, like level 25 talent? Every time you backtrack, the enemy team gets all the damage taken that you are
oh my god. Yeah, just get a blade mail, and then like this lion fingers you, and you send him to hell twice and back and back and back again.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about why Terrorblade is so strong, right? Is it purely because of the hero and his abilities? Is it because of the items that he builds? Is it because of the metagame as it is developing? You're the Terrorblade player of the two of us, that's for sure.
Mostly the hero, I think. One thing that I've really been kind of taking notice of, I feel like this kind of started with the sniper patch, and it has just kind of continued to be more and more like something that I'm aware of, is like what kind of defines a carry isn't so much their damage output, it's how reliably they can get their damage out. So like Juggernaut is a fantastic carry. One of the main reasons is, I mean, unless you just get caught out 100-0 died, you are always going to be able to exert some of the damage that you got from the farm via Omnislash, and you will not have that damage will not stop until your Omnislash is ended. Sniper is a really, really good hero, especially in pubs, because it doesn't really matter how much damage that Sniper has. The fact of the matter is that the damage is going to get out. And then whereas you have a hero like Sven, and Sven, there's no guarantee on how long you're going to be able to put damage out. But if you're like the old Sven that just, you rush whatever farm you can, whatever BKB, Echo Saber, and then you just like rush the Daedalus, and your whole thing is built around like fucking blink, stun, or ulti, blink, stun, Echo Saber, and one auto attack. Like hopefully one of those crit, and that's your whole hero. Like you have a very small window to put out your damage, but like the like what kind of makes a carry is you have a certain guaranteed window of damage, and you need to be able to put out enough damage to win a team fight, like within that window. And that's what like Slark also can be annoying because Shadow Dance guarantees Slark will have some period where damage will be able to get out, stuff like that. So it's like one thing to really watch on a carry is like what would be a really shit carry, like a Phantom Assassin who is behind. You're not going to be able to be in the middle of a fight and put damage out. Like, you're immediately going to die. So, like, that Phantom Assassin is often a very hit or miss carry, because she doesn't have a guaranteed window to put out damage outside of, like, dagger tossing. But, Terrorblade is fantastic, because he has such high range, and he has such, like, absurd farm speed. And also like very high armor. So if you think about what high range plus having a bunch of illusions means for you, is that an individual stun will not stop your damage. Also, anyone walking at you will die before they get to you. So the only thing that's really going to stop a Terrorblade from getting his damage out is going to be an AoE stun that is either like blink initiated or done from range, and if it's blink initiated, not canceled by one of his illusions, or canceled by his Q that has an absurdly long range and just instantly will just like hit everything around him. And also you need to kill him within that stun, otherwise he will, or silence or whatever, otherwise he will, I mean if it's not a stun it'll be KB, but, or Manta off the silence or whatever, but if you don't immediately kill him, he will sunder you. So that is like, unless you kill him within a stun lock combo, that can only really be like effectively delivered in an AoE from range, or while not getting your blink dagger canceled or whatever. You have a very low chance of killing him. And if you get him low and he gets a sunder off, that's like, if you get him low, that's almost like the concept of guaranteed damage that he is able to put out just because you hit him. Like, there's so many dimensions to this hero that guarantee that he will get a lot of damage out, between like all the illusions that he has, how long his range is, the fact that he can like reflect. So there are certain things that he counters specifically. Like, not only is he an amazing hero, but he's a very strong counter to illusion, or to Luna, not to mention Shadow Demon strats in general, because he makes copies of their illusions and all that shit. Like, there's a lot of dimensions to why Terrorblade is so fucking absurd.
Yeah, I would say, and we see this a lot of times with these heroes that do become incredibly strong, they're heroes that are well-rounded in their strengths, right? Like Terrorblade, his weaknesses, he has very few weaknesses, if any, right? You have to go out of your way to kill him.
Cooldown is a very big weakness, but that's also like, you can play around it. It's not that big a deal. Like it just means that you have that's my phone. It just means you have like a defined tempo on this hero.
Yeah, so Terrorblade, he's strong in basically all phases of the game as well, right? Metamorphosis, so long as you have it up, of course, is just an ability where it's great at level 1, it's great at level 10, it's great at 15 minutes, it's great at 25 minutes, it's great at 35 minutes, it's great at 45 minutes, right? Yeah. It is a hero that does not have a phase in the game where you're like, wow, this hero really sucks. Unless, of course, like he's against 1 billion magic damage at, like, unless he gets super counterpicked early game. But in the vast majority of situations, it's just like, okay, this hero is just good. Though,
if you also think of a lot of heroes that are like contemporary, I guess not contemporary, but classic Terrorblade counters, it's like Zeus.
Yeah.
And then
you just buy raindrops.
Lena's Zeus mostly just because he kills your illusions with one like Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Because as you said, like unlike Naga Siren, his illusions come out kind of one at a time. So that is specifically like good for Zeus because Zeus is only throwing one lightning bolt out at a time. Like Zeus isn't going to clear a bunch of Naga illusions with chain lightning. But Zeus, I mean, we both think that Zeus is a relatively strong hero. Maybe a bit of a sleeper. Although that's controversial. That's just our opinions. It's not like defined or whatever. But Zeus is definitely not meta at the very least. I will say that maybe you can say like Lena is good against Terrorblade. I can't really speak to that too much. Most of my experience with Lena lately has been off of her initiating off someone else, and then I just like fucking pop Metamorphosis and like slide into her DMs and send a bunch of like blue sparklies, and then she dies immediately.
Yeah, it's brutal and confirm.
It's super brutal. Yeah, she's pretty low armor. And then you think about also in a meta sense, Lifestealer, super meta. Terrorblade, amazing counter to Lifestealer. Lifestealer just kind of wants to walk at you, and Lifestealer has Rage, but Terrorblade does not give a shit about Rage. Similarly, Jug often wants to spin. I cannot tell you the number of times a Juggernaut has spun, and then my Terrorblade just fucking slides into his DMs, and then throws blue sparklies, and then Jug is like, what? And that happened to me in a stream team game. I was like killing a Terrorblade, and I'm like, I'll just like spin and walk out, and then I just die immediately. And so,
I have also done that.
That's more damage than that.
It's like it's the epitome of a facepalm moment, honestly.
Yeah, for absolutely certain. I can't, like, there are very few heroes that really do that well against him right now. Maybe I would say Centaur, because even if you have Scotty going and all that stuff, like, you're not gonna be able to kill someone who gets stampeded away. But I don't know, like, he's just really good. The only thing that I would say is that he's not like Lifestealer in that he's going to 1v1 a Centaur or an Abaddon, maybe a Magnus or whatever. But at the same time, he's not like he's no Spectre that needs two supports to support his lane at all times. Like he's got a ton of armor. He can 1v1 other melees so well that you can even mid him. He's a fine poor man shield hero. He's actually one of he's less like Mango dependent than like a Sven or a Juggernaut. So he's one hero that I really do enjoy the double slipper, Tango Salve, and just like a Clarity or something. If you need some kind of mana regen, maybe you hit 6 and you want to make sure you have Sunder available, something like that. But like he's great for that. Whereas a hero like Juggernaut, like if you do that build, you can't get it with a Mango. Which is super shitty, and I normally just have a Mango like shipped out to me, which is awful because you never want your safe lane to take the courier, so I have to ask like 7 times. But he's one here that's not hurt too much by the slippers being removed from side shop change. He's just like really good. One thing is I haven't been skilling Reflection much. Like I save the point and put it in Conjure Image or whatever for my farming, but I feel like that's blown up in my face way more often than not. Like some engagement at level 4 happens and I don't have Reflection. My support spam pigs me and be like, no Reflection? I'd be like, I want to farm. I'm a 7k player now. I'm going to just farm a lot. Like just get Reflection if you don't entirely know what you're doing.
That makes sense. So let's go over quickly the build on the hero, right? Like generalized build, of course, typical asterisk caveat of a Dota podcast. This changes somewhat depending on the game.
So the relatively standard for Terrorblade is, okay, so you start with the double slipper, 2 pieces of regen and a Clarity, get into the Poor Man's Shield, which is a stout shield, of course, and then go into Quelling Blade, boots, and then you want some combo of Aquila and Power Treads in any order. Not you want both of those items in any order. And then after that, I just get like a raindrop. And then I don't get, some people, when Helm of the Dawn was really good, people would go that, but I don't feel like Terrorblade is like a Luna or like Sven or some of these other heroes that really did need the health regen item. Terrorblade, like, of course you can tank with illusions, but the bigger thing is that you can get this +6 health regen talent at level 10, and Terrorblade does level pretty quickly after you've got a couple levels in illusions, so before you have the 6 health regen, maybe make sure you get in on like 1 shrine usage or whatever at like, 9 minutes into the game when you start jungling or roaming around 11 minutes, something like that. But yeah, the 6 health regen will take care of you forever. Eventually you'll get a Hurricane Pike, so it's no big deal. So you don't need a Dom, you don't need fucking Vanguard or whatever the fuck. You don't need anything. So you just get you get your treads, you get your Aki, you get your raindrop, you have your Poor Man's Shield. I don't really like Wand on the hero, not totally necessary. The raindrop takes care of most of your mana issues, and you're just kind of sitting in jungle spamming stuff. You're not going to be around a bunch of wand charges. Anytime you do get ganked, it's going to be all at once, and the raindrop's going to be what saves you, not wand charges. And then after that, you go Dragonlance just for some general tankability. You don't really want to have just like an Aquila, Treads, and then a Yasha. Like you're going to melt if anything ever happens. And you want to start like every time you have meta, you want to be pushing a tower. You want to be doing something with your team. Like the last thing that you want is to just like farm for 7 minutes straight. And then your team is going to want to take like 3 towers in a row. Like maybe, oh man, I farmed so much, now I can win off of this. And then you blow meta and you take 1 tier 1, and then your team's like, we have so much momentum, let's keep going. And you're like, okay. And then you go for another push, but you don't have Metamorphosis, and everyone dies. And like, damn, how did that not go well? And you're like, well, I didn't have Metamorphosis. And then that's not good. Like you wanna pace out. Farm meta. So you get the Dragonlance early so you can make your Metamorphosis early push go well, and then you get your Manta after that. Then you can go either BKB or Scotty and then BKB, whatever. And then maybe Hurricane Pike if you really need it. And then if not, get your Butterfly and then get your Hurricane Pike after. Pike is just really good on Terrorblade because Metamorphosis actually drains your move speed. You lose 25. So he gets actually pretty slow once you use it. So it's really hard to reposition the guy. But you can just get Hurricane Pike done. It's nice. Force stuff yourself around. It's good stuff.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, standard illusion items, but you do want to BKB relatively early on. That way, if you get stunned by a bunch of stuff, you can BKB, and then they can't finish their stun chain or whatever and sunder, and you kill everyone.
All right, so we are now going from Terrorblade, of course, that we've covered, I think, pretty decisively.
Comprehensively,
into here that we have talked about a bunch, but only played once before on the show, Jakiro, that has some divisive opinions skill build wise, and I've been doing some research and looking at a lot of the top 100 Jakiro players and other 6K plus Jakiro players, and there's a pretty clear divide between those of us that are anti-maxing Liquid Fire by 7 and those, and I wouldn't say vast, but the large majority of people that do max Liquid Fire by 7, even in very high tier Jakiro players. And I think we should actually talk a bit about why this is a thing, because I was watching Wagamama, aka 5K bracket ruiner, according to Reddit. He was playing Jakiro. Demon. Yeah, the destroyer of worlds, Wagamama. And the efficacy of the maxing Liquid Fire by 7 build and the ease of execution makes sense in the way that it works, basically, and I think the root of the argument is that when you do the max Liquid Fire by 7 on Jakiro, you get a really fast tier 1 tower that opens up the map for your team, and you get basically undeniable harass on the opponent for literally no cost. Whereas the build that both of us like usually is more of a 2-1-2, where you have 2 points dual breath, 1 point Ice Path, and then 2 points Liquid Fire.
So here's the first thing I want to say about that. That is comparing a level 7 build to a level 5 build.
Okay, well, so the opposite is 1-1-3, right? So for context. So either way, right? 1-1-3. Also, there are some people that they max Liquid Fire at 8, and they'll go 2-1-2 by 5. Then they will have 7 and 8 be liquid fire, and then they have basically 2, 1, 4 at 7 or at 8. Yeah. So, but there's a split, right? It's one of these heroes where I can see it both ways. I mean, both of us, we prefer. So the 2-point dual breath is much more of a fighty. Let's kill the offlaner, or let's rotate, let's do things.
Yeah,
whereas
let's do things besides slow siege towers for the entirety of our game.
Yeah, but well, I mean, for the first like 10 minutes. But slow siege in that tower, like there is an incredible value in having an early tier 1 tower, and the maxed liquid fire does deal quite a good bit of damage, right? It deals, I don't know what cumulatively it does. It lasts 5 seconds. It does 24 burn damage.
24.
5 times 24. Dude, I'm not a scientist,
like
all right? Yeah, it's like 120. And you get that every 4 seconds on an opponent or on a tower versus what some people prefer, which is the 2 points liquid fire. Again, you're right. We should have this at 7. Versus, let's say you have 3 points liquid fire. I mean,
that's
7.
my issue with it. Like if you're playing a Jakiro support, the time when you're slow sieging towers like ends before level 7. Like that. Like if you're like your level 7 on Jakiro comes at like 12 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, not if you're staying in lane the entire time and like pushing that tower, I suppose. But then you're giving XP to the offlaner.
How long is that taken? Like, how long does it take to push a tower? Like, I feel like it's at like 5% health, and then you're 12 minutes in, and then you finally get your last point liquid fire, and like it could be dead by now. Or you could just like have dual breath and then kill the offlaner, and then you're not slow pushing it; you're just fucking pushing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very biased in my opinion. Like, I think 2 is totally cool. I think 3 is fine as well, but I feel like taking it to 4 points is like, I don't know, man. I feel like you kind of like you've evolved past that stage. It's like once you get a big boy job and you're like, dog, I can buy every Power Ranger. It's like when you're like real young, you hear about all the money that your parents make, and you're like, holy shit. I'm going to be an adult and then I'm going to buy like so many fucking Beanie Babies and it's going to be dope. And then like once you get there, you're like, shit, I don't need Beanie Babies anymore. This is not actually this is not what I'm going to use my skill points / my salary on. I have like bills and actual important things to do now.
Yeah. But you still get a couple Beanie Babies. And that's why you get at least a couple points of liquid fire.
That's where you get 3 points liquid fire. Anyway.
Yeah. And also nowadays people actually skill his ult. And that way you can push towers with it. So basically what you do is you hard commit to a tower, you just ult the next incoming wave, and then you just take the tower all in one go. Right? Like you're liquid fire harassing it for a while, and then you just commit.
You could have this little like drip liquid fire, or you could just have a fucking sea, like a moat of fire. I'll take the moat over like some nondescript amount of liquid.
Yeah, I suppose. I've kind of like, I'm just so flip-floppy on this point.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely one of those things where I can easily see why both are good, and one is super easy to execute and consistent, whereas the other requires the game state to be in a fighting state, if that makes sense. So
I guess. I mean, my counter would be liquid fire requires the game to be in a you are slow sieging on Jakiro, and that is a good thing to be doing situation, but it seems like a much rarer state than like there is a concept of a fight ever happening. Because I don't know,
but you still have a point in dual breath and in the stun, right? So you still can participate in a fight and get some damage out, and at the very least get people to leave your, like, let's say they're ganking your mid or whatever. Or if you're ganking their mid, you can still do things. You can still participate and put slows out and put some damage. But you definitely don't have the same commitment and same level of damage. Also, you have all that attack speed slow from liquid fire, which is nice.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Also, like, dual breath is so low range. I don't know.
It's got a pretty long range.
It's decent. It's like, what, 500 range from you?
I thought it was a bit longer than that. Start radius, so it starts 200 away from you. Yeah, it's like 450. I don't know how that actually also interacts with like the range of it, because like some of the things that are like AoE can only go out so far, but then like the actual AoEs, because like it feels really long when I use it, honestly.
Yeah, it has a weird, like the animation is deceptive in that it goes a little farther than the animation, and it also kind of goes a little not as far as the animation on the left and right sides of it. Anyway, so we'll see what I end up doing. I'm probably going to do more of a fighty build, but with the Terrorblade, like we could take our 2 towers super fast if I have like 3 points liquid fire at 5 or something.
Oh man, it goes far as shit. I have an axe like 1,000 units away from me, and it got hit by my liquid fire. Or not my liquid fire, my dual breath. Like it's like my Jakiro is at the bottom of my screen, and my axe is at the top almost, and it hit him.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's wicked long, honestly.
So yeah, we'll see what we do skill build wise. I just wanted to address that debate because I knew if we said just outwardly that maxing liquid fire by 7 is bad, everybody would just point to all like the 7K players maxing liquid fire first, and then we'd just get yelled at. So my official opinion is that it can go either way, but liquid fire is easier to execute. That is for certain. Sure. Itemization wise, basically what you do is you build either mana boots or tranquil boots. Generally you want to build mana boots, but especially if you're doing liquid fire maxing, you don't need the mana that you need if you're doing a dual breath build. So you can afford to get tranquil boots if you're having a truly rough game, because you just buy like a range drop or two, and that can supplement to your mana that you're putting out. Sure. Other than that, though, you're going pretty standard support items. You're going in for Force Staff is the big one. Glimmer Cape, of course, is strong. I really like Veil. You are a super tanky, strong hero if you have a Veil and mana boots, or a Veil and tranquil boots. It is a scary sight to behold. A Jakiro that has like 1,000 health when you expect supports to have like 600.
And Jakiro is one of those heroes that like similar to shit. Oh my god, what's this other hero that just puts out like I guess not Lesh, because Lesh isn't really a support, but it's a hero similar to like Leshrac or Lena or whatever, that they just have a bunch of spells that do a ton of damage. And if you have a Veil, I mean, you just shooting damage out everywhere. Like, it's great. Yeah. It's not like you're Lion where it's just like, oh, Veil, finger, and that's kind of it. You have fucking liquid fire going everywhere, so it like takes advantage of how long the duration of Veil is. And you have your dual breath flying places, macro pyre and shit. Like, he just does a ton of damage.
Yeah. And the other big items on the hero are Yule's Scepter, so that you can Yule somebody, and then you can throw down your Ice Path, and then they get stunned the second they come down. Yep. And then the other big thing is Aether Lens. Aether Lens has kind of fallen out of favor as a necessary item on a lot of heroes, but it is still a good item on a lot of heroes. I feel like it has kind of come down to a personal choice kind of thing. Like, does my teammates not need mana anymore? Do I want to invest all this gold into an item that gives me a passive compared to supports where generally your first big item is something that gives you an active ability like a Force Staff or like a Glimmer Cape, etc.
I haven't really seen Aether on Jakiro.
Oh man, it's one of his most popular items on Dota Buff, and it's something I've seen and I've built tons of times. Yeah.
Why? What's the reason?
It's just you naturally build mana boosts, but then you scale into not needing extra mana, and it makes an already long range hero super long range.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
I can see it, I guess.
Are kept so far out of the fight, and also it applies to dual breath and your other things.
Yeah.
So
well, I won't knock it, I guess.
Yeah. And that's about that. I mean, some people build like Greaves if you need them for the team, but a lot of times, and also a lot of people build Midas if you can get away with it.
Oh, I could see that. That sounds
because cool. Kind of. So the Midas,
I mean, he loves attack speed. Jakir and attack speed. Yeah. Like, that's his shit.
Yeah, we're running a little long for this first segment, but I will say Midas, I forget if it was you that said this or somebody was quoting like a pro player or whatever in Discord, but Midas is basically you saying, I don't need 2,000 gold to do things. I can do things without 2,000 gold right now, so I'm just going to invest. Right, so Jakiro is a hero that somebody said something to the effect that it was much more eloquent and like single sentence. But Midas is great on Jakiro in that he doesn't need an item to do stuff, right? It's not like a Slardar where it's like I need to invest my money into a Blink Dagger. It's just, although some Slardars go Midas too, but also Midas is just a crazy good item.
And he's no Rubik or Lion where it's just like I need the Blink and I need it now.
Exactly. So he can just get away with it, right? Because he's still an incredibly strong, tanky support that gives push and gives CC and just does a lot of stuff without a Midas. So tanky, if I can get away with it, I'll do it.
Independent double-headed dragon who don't need no core item. Just get a Midas.
Yeah, great solo queue hero also. When people talk about solo queue supports, Jakiro is like a great first pick. He is a great second, third, fourth, and fifth pick. He's just a good, consistent hero that is a very high skill ceiling support, despite how easy he looks, but he's also very easy to play. Like a low skill floor, high skill ceiling.
Yeah.
So
All
that's
right.
Jakiro.
Let's go into the game. I want to get this going.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Hollow One, we are back.
Yeah.
We have just completed our game. It was definitely a Terrorblade game. I think we can both agree on that one.
Yep.
It was, would you say maybe the most Terrorblade game? Like the game that most shows the incredible strength of a Terrorblade despite
it definitely showed
adversity.
what happens to Terrorblade when Terrorblade gets bored. It was the most bored Terrorblade a Terrorblade game has ever been. Because like a peak Terrorblade game, I wouldn't have died and I wouldn't have been like pushing for no reason between items.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
true.
I was split pushing, then like I died split pushing a couple times just because I was like, man, something needs to happen.
Yeah, that is true, I suppose. And I
didn't play to the tempo of meta because, like, I mean, Terrorblade is a pretty team-oriented meta, and our team was not a team-oriented team. Or not meta. Terrorblade's a team-oriented hero. Playing around meta is a team-oriented exercise, I can say.
Yeah, this podcast is not about complaining about teammates, but boy, our teammates were something.
Is it?
I mean, it really is, but we masquerade ourselves as a podcast about learning and getting better at Dota.
That's not what it says on the tin, but like as soon as you open it up, you're like, you get a fine whiff, and you're like, something went bad in that game.
Yeah, it's like when you get like one of those things of mixed nuts, but then it's really just all cashews. We advertise as like a thing that's like a bunch of different nice delectable treats, but really it's just a lot of complaining.
And then there's a coal in it. There's just a piece of coal, and you're like, this is not a viable industry anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about the teams. The enemy team was a Centaur offlane, a Roaming Pudge, a safe lane dual lane of Phantom Assassin and Vengeful Spirit, and Spirit, yeah, and a mid lane of Shadow Fiend. This was a 40. I think their team averaged 4150. Our team was averaged to 4K. That was very evident in our probably low 3K-ish teammates and one good player who was not good, but he was high MMR. We had a Arc Warden mid. We had a safe lane tri-lane of Jakiro, Terrorblade, and Disruptor. And then we had an off lane of Undying. And as I said, this was a 3 and a 2 stack versus a 3 and a 2 stack, not 3 pub players and parties for context. And that's why we had some like low to mid 3K players on our team because they stacked with their friend that's like 4,700.
Yeah, well, that's actually crazy. This dude is 3.1K party, and the person he's partied with is 4,700.
Yeah.
That's like a big I thought the disparity max was 1.5K. Is it 2K?
No, it's 2K.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I've literally played games before, not recently, but once I played a game, I think I was like 4,100 party MMR, and I played a game with somebody to the T 2,000 points below me. Okay. And I was playing 4,100 with a 2,100, so yeah. And they haven't changed that unless I'm unaware of something.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. I think it used to be 1.5, or maybe I'm just completely wrong. Doesn't matter either way.
It's very silly either way. It really should not be like that. But I digress. Let's talk about the actual game and how it progressed. So the enemy team had a Roaming Pudge that got some work done on our mid-arc Warden. He had a few ganks. We had a few TPs that turned things around. Our lane went relatively fine, right? We had a little trouble zoning the Centaur at a certain point, but we zoned him for a while pretty well.
I didn't. I was free farming the whole time.
Yeah, we zoned him pretty effectively. He went PMS Tango to start, so he only had 4 tangos. And I started Dual Breath, and we had a Disruptor who started with Lightning. And so we got his regen down pretty low, but after that like 5-minute marker or so, after he had used his Shrine, and I think he might have ferried out some regen as well, or at least gotten the Ring of Regen for his Tranquil Boots, then it just hit that point where the offliner is a PMS, and you deal negligible damage to him, so he just gets XP, unless you kill him. But we weren't really in a kill lane, unless like We perfectly lined up everything.
Yeah, unless I had meta somehow dodged the stomp and he was like walking in the direct, like at the end of my diameter and then through the end of my diameter of like across my circle of things that I can right click. There was not a great way to get to actually kill him.
Yeah,
but we could kill his tower because we were Terrorblade and Jakiro, so that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so I will say the laning phase and my ability to react to other lanes getting ganked, namely our mid lane getting ganked by that Pudge, and this Shadow Fiend who's playing super aggro. We spent a huge portion of the Jakiro segment talking about just how malleable his skilling is, and I ended up going Dual Breath at level 1, which I think was definitely the right choice for the game. But I went Liquid Fire at level 2, and it was more of a reaction of a gank had just happened on mid. The mid laner died, but I TP'd anyway, because I TP'd while he was dying. And then I was just going to be farming the lane for a little bit and getting solo XP. So I was like, all right, great. This is going to pole vault me to level 3 pretty quickly, and I would like to have Liquid Fire. It was kind of like an impulse decision. And then pretty quickly I regretted it and just wanted to have Ice Path. So that was definitely a mistake on my part. If I was still just hanging out laning, Liquid Fire definitely would have been the pick over Ice Path. But since I was having to be the rotating ganker or rotating reactionary hero, I guess, I should have chosen Ice Path and I didn't. Because normally like you'd play Jakiro with like a 4, and the 4 would be the one that's reacting to things like an Earth Spirit or a Monkey King or a Pudge even, or a Spirit Breaker. Jakiro doesn't react very quickly. He reacts effectively because he's a big hero that deals a lot of dot damage. But I had trouble reacting to things, but Disruptor would have even worse trouble, so it just was not even a question. So the support duo I wasn't terribly happy with, although it ended up working out, because he offers team fight and I offer consistent damage, and we both have a lot of AoE control. That's that's the biggest thing that jumped out to me about the Jakiro game. I guess just before we get into like you talking about your thing, I'll just say I ended up going Tranquil Boots because I was super poor, and we had 2 pairs of Mana Boots on the team already, so I kind of got a pass.
Underlord is a offlaner that does go Greaves, so that makes sense. And then and Disruptor did too. So yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah, and then I went for a Veil because we had so much magic damage on our team. We had an Arc Warden magic damage. We had a Underlord magic damage. We had a Disruptor magic damage, and we had me magic damage. You were the odd man out dealing physical.
Yeah, well, I had my MKB. Yeah,
that's true. Huh? That's true. And the enemy team had a lot of minus armor between Vengeful Spirit and the Deso
Phantom
PA.
Assassin and Shadow Fiend Aura. Yeah.
So I
had a lot of minus armor going around.
So I liked the Veil, and then I went for Yules. If I had not gone Veil, I probably would have gone Yules first. But I had to buy, how many sentries did I buy this game?
It's like 47, I think it was.
It was a lot. I can't freaking look at these things because of the. I don't have plus right now.
You had 26. It's in the replay in Dota.
Oh yeah, I don't use that. I use Dota buff.
That's great. Well, it's 26.
Yeah. Okay. I should be using the thing. Anyway, so I didn't have great itemization timings.
Disruptor built 9. Hey, so hats off to Disruptor.
Yeah. And also I died a lot because I was easy to kill for them because they had like a really fed PA.
Yeah, most of the game was like they ran around and died for no reason, and then occasionally you tried to save them, and then that turned into like a chain event, and I was just like, I'm just gonna split push, and so I just kind of like had illusions at all times, and then most of the game was them trying to depush my illusions in between killing Disruptor, and then at some point I was like, this is dumb, I'm tired of split pushing and slowly taking these towers down, I'm going to come to fights. And then I did, and I didn't have MKB yet, so they were scrappy fights. We came out ahead, and then eventually I got MKB, and then we won. Then we won the game.
Yeah. So that was just. Then I ended up building a Ghost Scepter, and that's about that. And I probably was actually going to pull you a Moonshard if the game continued.
I was looking forward to it. But so as far as my items went, it was basically what I figured I was going to go. It's like, treads. I got my Aquila really early on. I got it before the treads because I know it's like, we want to push this tower. I need my oh, Sam, what's it called?
Dragonlance?
No.
What?
Basilius.
Rain.
Yeah, I need the Aquila ASAP.
R-O-B.
The Basilius.
Rob.
You need the Basilius.
Need me a Rob.
Need me that Robbie. Yeah, so you needed Robbie as fast as plausible. And so I got it, and then we pushed the tower, and it all was hunky-dory. Then I got treads, I got my raindrop, and then I'm like so immediately need to say drop top as soon as I say the word raindrop. But I got my raindrop, and I just kept spamming my illusions, and I farmed a bunch, and then I got Dragonlance, pushed another tower with the Dragonlance, and then just kept farming, and I got a Manta, then I got a Scotty, and then afterwards I got that was when I was like split pushing and stuff, and then I was like, I just need travels so I can just teleport around and not have my TP on cooldown for every fight, and so I got travels, and then I fought and died. And then I got MKB because I was like, I never want to die again for the rest of my life. And then I got MKB. We got Roche. We took some Raxes. I got Butterfly, and then we ended the game.
Yeah,
it was pretty rough. As far as talents go, I think I might do a little bit different than most people do on Terrorblade. I feel like maybe because I know the offensive talents almost always have better win rates statistically. And I'm beginning to believe that's like actually not, that like makes me think that the win rates are largely not something that you should go by aside from like weird 25-point talents. But if it's like a question between 200 health or 10 damage, like I'm actually kind of completely uninterested in that win rate unless it's like 98% versus 2. Because on Terrorblade, 200 health is way better than 25 damage. Like there is no fucking reality where the 25 damage is better. Like that's just not.
Well, yeah, and the thing you have to think about regarding Terrorblade specifically, because that is an option on a lot of heroes' trees, is just that 250 health is a 250 more of a barrier for you to get Sunder off if you get picked off, right?
Right.
So that's even more significant than just flat saying, here's 250 health on any generic hero.
Yeah, it could mean a second health pool, and also someone's at 5 health. Or means you die in a burst combo. But like 25 damage, also it only affects you, it only affects your illusions. You have so much fucking damage on Terrorblade. Your meta gives you an incredible amount of damage. Just offensively in general, like you just your illusions do so much goddamn damage, and then your meta also affects your illusions damage, and then you're building like you have you're not going at like a health regen item or a defensive item. There's no like fucking Helm of the Dominator or whatever. There's no stopping off money for a Vanguard. You're just straight up like every single item is giving me stats and giving me a ton of illusion damage. And like you get the Manta, then you get Scotty, and then you get fucking like Butterfly and shit. Like, damn, you do not need plus 25 damage. Every item I've just named besides Scotty is like doesn't have a ton of health on it, and you're never going to get an item that has a ton of health on it, because all the items that have a bunch of health don't. Besides Scotty, like Scotty's the only health item. Like, I mean, you like Satanic. No, you're not going to get Satanic. You're probably not going to get Heart. You probably want to BKB more than that. But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't even know what the win rate on the differences there. I'm gonna kind of check, but the 200 health, I'm 100% sure I have. I'm 100% sure that is by far the better talent on Terrorblade.
Yeah. Regarding Jakiro's talents, I don't know if you've played around with any of these, but I've been playing around with the XP gain talents.
Yeah. On
a few heroes, seemingly Jakiro and Invoker. And does Bane have one? I feel like he does. There's some other hero I've been picking XP on. And it's XP versus 8% spell amp, and the win rates are pretty close. It's within a negligible difference. It's only 2% difference. And I really like the XP gain talent on him just because I really, really, really wanted to get to his level 25 talent, which is 1.25 seconds extra ice path duration.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
It's disgusting. Honestly, if you watch it in action, it is offensive how long such a large stun is. Okay. It is just absurd, honestly. It's one of these talents that does not sound revolutionary, but it is truly impressive. And you have to consider you're getting it at a point in the game when people's BKBs are low. So if you got this at 20 minutes and people are getting fresh BKBs in a few minutes, like, okay, they'll just dodge it.
That's like a 3.75. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god, that's like Morphling. That's like Morphling stun. It's actually not quite that much, but...
Well, Morphstun's only, 4, right? So it's only a 0.25 seconds difference.
4.25.
Yeah.
So, 4.5 difference. But anyway, it's long enough for me to say that. It's like RP, basically.
If you round up.
It's RP.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It actually is. It's the exact length of max RP. That's That is wild. Okay, maybe I will go for that. Like, if you can tell the game's gonna go late and you're interested in getting a Midas, I could see that.
It has an
Jakiro,
8% higher win rate.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
maybe I'll look into that because that's rare for an XP talent to get.
Oh no, sorry. I mean the 1.25 seconds ice path duration has the 8%.
That
thing.
I would.
But
yeah,
I was just getting the XP gain talent to get to that big talent because I feel like if I was playing more of a farm intensive Jakiro, I would have gone for the spell amp if I was getting more levels and getting more items. But since I was kind of playing this, very poor, low level, effectively not having a lot of time to go out and do things, and all our lanes were constantly pushed because of you and also an Arc Warden. So the XP gain talent was nice, I would say. There were fights where I would get 2 entire levels from one fight that I lived through because of it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty solid. I want to look at... Okay, so as far as the level 15, what would you give for that?
I picked cast range just because I was so squishy and under-leveled. But the 35 dual breath damage is good, especially if you synergize with the +8 spell amp. And on top of that, I would have had a Veil. But I ended up going for the cast range. I flip-flopped on this one. I'm really not sure what the correct decision was. And the difference in win rate is negligible between the two as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really only adds 175 damage to your entire dual breath, which is a lot, honestly. But
it helps you
I can
farm,
see getting one or the other. I would also say if you're really looking for that plus 1.25 second ice path duration, hey, go cast range in the best fucking ice paths of your life. But that's like borderline meme build at that point. But I am super into this concept of a fucking like 4-second disable ice path. Holy shit,
crazy, dude.
It's like an 8-second cooldown too, right? No, 9. So that's that's like almost 50% uptime on ice path of all abilities.
And
that's so cool.
You combine Octarine. I've done that before on a like really greedy farm heavy Jakiro where the game just works out and like I mean, it's actually pretty realistic to get in like one of these big ticket items on any of these heroes if the game is late enough. Like if one fight ends and you live through the whole thing, you get like 3k. And then you take one lane of racks because you guys won that fight, and you suddenly have 5,000 gold. That's like practically an Octarine core.
Right. And it might be a bit of a win more scenario at that point, but
for sure.
It's Octarine on Jakiro. What situation is that not a win more?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ice Path
I'm into
is crazy.
I've been super down on Jakiro lately. Like Jakiro, as you know, is one of my favorite supports. But I've just like lost a ton of Jakiro games lately. So I just haven't really been playing him, but I'm kind of hyped to stop going the Spell Amp talent, try out the XP gain, and like, I mean, even on Jakiro in general, like all of his skills you want to max. Like there's no skill that I'm like, I'll get the last points these later. Like on Dazzle or something, like, getting my last few points on Poison Touch is nice, but it's not like that big a deal. Or like Disruptor. Like, okay, I need to get 2 more points. My Thunder Strike's only 2 points now. Time to get the last 2. Like, that doesn't fucking matter. But on Jakiro, man, like, everything. Except for, like, maybe Liquid Fire once you hit the late game where it's like, Liquid Fire is not the deciding factor on whether or not you're going to kill a tower. But, like, maxing Ice Path at the end of it is awesome. Dual Breath, I mean, even just, you farm much better. Seems cool. I'm kind of hype on it now. I'm kind of hankering to play that little Jackie boy.
Yeah, I am definitely having fun with these XP gain talents, and they're definitely not universally good. I would never say that, but they are, I would say, underrated in the sense that they almost always have lower aggregate win rates.
You like the Invoker one now, don't you?
I do.
You go with
tentatively.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't think it's total shit?
No, I definitely don't think it's really bad.
Okay,
I think it's perfectly pickable. I've been seeing it get more play, especially after the Midas nerfs, to mitigate the loss that you have.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the fence, I would say.
Just saying, on Terrorblade, this is like one of the few situations where a defensive talent has a bigger win rate than the offensive talent in level 10. 15 attack speed has a 1.2% lower win rate than 6 health regen. So 6 health regen does have over 1% advantage on the 15 attack speed. And also, the health regen has like a 35% pick rate, so like only a third of the time, whereas 15 attack speed is 2/3 of the time. So the health regen, even if you just say like, oh, you only get it in like bad situations, and that's why it has like a smaller, whatever you want to attribute it to, like the health regen has a much better win rate. And the 25 damage versus 200 health, though, like that is within the 25 damage's favor, but I still totally think that 200 health is like the thing to do. It's only a 0.7 difference between those two talents, though. But I'm pretty into the 200 health. I don't feel like I would ever get the 25 damage in any situation.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
Cool.
Do you have anything else about this game? I'm kind of tapped. I like.
Now I'm set. One thing with Terrorblade when you're playing him, as soon as you finish your Dragonlance and you've got maybe 3, maybe 4 points in your illusions, just send them to kill camps on their own. Like, or kill a camp to half health, summon an illusion, walk away, let your illusion finish it off. Like the Terrorblade is an absurdly fast farmer, and if you like aren't utilizing your illusions correctly, like you will not take advantage of it. Like I had what was it, like a 24 minute like Scotty and shit. Like it was wild fast and super good. And this hero is bonkers crazy, and you farm so fucking fast. And like a fight starts and you just sit wherever the fight. Like there was that one fight where I was just like bottom split pushing, and then one person TP'd in, and I kind of like walked away a little bit. Then someone came to like flank me, and I just like got big and spawned illusion and killed them. And then Pudge like walks in and like hooks me and dismembers me. Dismember ends. I fucking sunder him, kill him. Someone else shows up. Oh no! Then I TP to the shrine where Shadow Fiend is killing our goddamn Arc Warden. As soon as I come in, Shadow Fiend starts to TP. I fucking kill him through BKB and the TP before it finishes, and it was just like, what a fucking hero! Holy shit! Feel like I'm goddamn shit. What is that dude's name? Iron Gladiator.
From the Iron Gladiator. Okay.
No, from Gladiator. Guy who fights everyone. Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I felt like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. It's like, you're not entertained. I'm a big boy.
The exact quote.
Yeah, that's Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained, colon, I am a big boy.
I don't like that it's a colon and not like a comma.
No, it's colon. That's the therefore I'm a
It's
big
not even
boy.
a question mark. It's like,
no. Are you not entertained, I am a big boy.
Yeah, there's just period at the end. Not even an exclamation point. All right, on that note, let's plug these. So you can watch the VODs from this game on youtube.com/.ptv1. That's also where I put up all our replay reviews. We've got plenty of those up at this point. I think I did 22 in the last month and a little. So if you like a hero, there is a good chance I have done a replay review of that hero, of somebody in probably ballpark your skill bracket. Twitch.tv/.btv is where we're streaming nigh constantly. Roland's there every day at around 12:30 Eastern. We are also there on the .p stream team stream, which will be the switcheroo team at long last this Sunday. After Easter and every random break we have it confirmed this Sunday. We also have our in-houses, which are on hiatus, so we don't actually have them. The in-house ended this Wednesday, and we have a 3-week break. Then we'll be back on in the in-house season for season 5. We've got some fun stuff prepared. We also randomly stream there other times. I believe I'm going to start streaming more, but it just always runs into my like replay review time, so I have not found a good time to stream. Anyway, plenty of stuff on there. We also have a website, new website by the 1st of next month. Website defensiveevasions.com. We have an email. You can send us questions for the Tuesday Q&A, which is also streamed Monday night at 9 Eastern. You can call in. You can leave us a voicemail, which you can find if you ask our Discord, because I don't know it off the top of my head. And you can just PM me or Cyphus or Roland with questions. Probably Cyphus is best. So get your deep, dark questions about Dota 2, preferably, on that show. We also would appreciate it if you supported us on Patreon, patreon.com/defensiveevasions, or on iTunes by giving us an iTunes review, which is 1000% free to you and greatly appreciated. And that's about it. I'm at Ursinity on Proud on Twitter. And Proud is at Proud Dota on Twitter. And our show is at @Doppies_show on Twitter. Bam! Thank you for listening. This has been the Theorycrafting Thursday. And if you lost, Wait.
I never mind. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Well, this has been Theorycrafting Thursday, and if you lost, it's probably the fault of your, I don't know.
Their voices were so weird. They were just so weird.
Yeah. It's
like every time the mic opened, it was like the maw of hell, and these like tiny like dancing imps were just like screaming in the background. It was bizarre. Anyway.
Yeah. So blame them.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Except your safe lane where there is nowhere to